Hey, what's up you guys? It's Miranda and today I'm going to be showing you how to do this look that I have on my eyes right now. It's kind of this like cotton candy graphic liner moment. So without further ado, if you want to see how I did this, just keep on watching. Okay, so as y'all saw by the title of this video and hopefully my intro, we are doing something kind of exciting, kind of different and cool today, so I'm really excited for it. I'm just priming my eyes with a concealer because I'm starting off with, sorry, I have this like huge mirror to hold, but I'm starting off with a concealer on the lid and not like foundation and everything, just because I don't really know how this is gonna go. So if I end up hating it, I don't have to take off my whole face, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do that and we're good. We are primed. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows as well. So these are primed and good to go. I'm gonna take a very, very small amount of setting powder that I don't think I put in there. Here it is. And I'm not gonna set them like crazy, just a little bit. So now that my eyes are primed, we are ready for the shadow. So if you were wondering what palettes I'm using, sorry. So like every video ever, I'm using a mixture of palettes just because I don't know what kind of like dimensions and things I'm gonna be wanting, but for the most part, it's gonna be the Back to Brazil palette by BH Cosmetics. It looks like this. And I'll be mostly using these pink shades from it, and maybe a little bit of this blue shade, but I find that their blue shades are kind of chalky and not as pigmented as their other ones. So for the blue, I will be going into this Rimmel London Magnify Eyes Color Edition, and I will be going into this blue right here. And then if I feel like it, I might be dipping into this Sephora Pro palette, and I might be using this pink or this blue, or you know, just whatever I'm feeling like, but mostly I will just be using this for the mirror that it has. So we're gonna start by placing some color in my inner corner because I want the pink to go there, so I figured lighter colors first, you know. So we're gonna go into the Back to Brazil palette, and I'm using the second from the top pink on the far left row, tapping off the excess because they are a little powdery, and we're gonna go in on the inner corner. Okay, so I have that pink all built up, obviously, and I went ahead and did the side too. So using the same brush, doesn't really matter, I'm gonna go into the shade right underneath that pink, which is just barely darker than it, and I'm just gonna kind of go in and add some dimension. And I don't want to use maybe like a hot pink or a pink that's like too dark, because we'll lose that like cotton candy kind of like cutesy pink color, and I don't want to lose that at all. Alright, so that's all built up just like that, and now we're gonna go in with our blue. But the first thing I want to do is take the Beauty Blender, and I'm just gonna go in about halfway and just kind of pat away some of that color, because I know that the pink and the blue are going to make a sort of purpley color, but I don't want that to be the focus. I just want it to be almost like a perfect cut, but not harsh, you know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna do. So now I'm gonna go in with a tiny brush. It's a little smaller than the pink one because we need a little bit more control. So I'm gonna go in with this, and I'm gonna start with the BH Cosmetics blue, which kind of runs a little green, but it's just gonna be like a wash of color and more for placement than it is for actual like pigment. So I'm just gonna start that in the crease very lightly. And be very gentle with it, and just barely touch where the pink is because I don't really want to mix them that much. Okay, so just about that much. So not a crazy amount, but definitely, you know, visible. So okay, so this is what we have going with the blue. So very light wash of color. Now I'm going to go into the Rimmel palette, this one, and take this gorgeous blue, which really does not belong. It looks really weird to me in this palette. But we're going to go in, and I'm just going to use the same brush again because it is small and we already have the blue on it. And I'm basically going to do the same thing that I did with the pink and just kind of go in and intensify it and just make it not as like patchy and kind of, it's very like sheer right now, I guess, so you want it to be a little more opaque. Okay, so I have the blue on there. I'm looking crazy. Actually, because this pink is a little light in comparison to how intense the blue is, I'm gonna go into this really hot pink in the Sephora palette, this one right here, and be very, very careful because these are extremely pigmented. And I'm just gonna tap that really tiny brush in there. And then I'm gonna go in again on the inner corner there just to intensify. Don't know why I whispered that. It was kind of weird. Okay, that's a lot better. And I'm going to go in with the old brush that we were using and go back into the very, very first pink just to, oop, that was a lot. Just to smoke it out. So I'm just keeping it very pink. Now I'm going to go in with another tapered brush. It's bigger, but the tip is still pretty small. I'm going to go in with a little bit darker blue, and I'm going to be really, really careful because this is a very dark blue. I'm using this one. So it is a lot darker than the blue that we're going for. So I'm actually going to test it out on my hand a little bit and just get the smallest amount and just kind of go in right there. We don't want anything like crazy dark. I just want some dimension. Okay, cool. So we're gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna do the rest of my face makeup and then I'm gonna come back to the lower lash line and the graphic liner, and then yeah, it'll be all done. So I'll see you in a Okay, so I'm back. I have a face on. Wow. And it's really saturated because I have a big window right there, so a lot of the colors show up a little bit lighter or not as harsh as they are in person, but I really like went in with blush and everything like that. I basically just took a big fluffy brush like this and I swiped it across the BH Cosmetics palette where all the pinks are, and I just started like really going in. And the funny thing is that one of those pinks is very shimmery, so I kind of have like a little glow going on, which is funny to me. So yeah, I haven't done highlight either yet, but I'll do that later. It's not important. So basically I'm going to do my lower lash line now. So I'm going to use the big fluffy brush that we used earlier just because I don't want to dirty another brush. There's no need. And I'm going to go into the second to top, so second from the top, sorry, shade of pink, and I'm gonna, oh, that was my nail, that hurt really bad, and I'm gonna go in under the lash line. I got a lot in my eyes. Wow. Okay, now we're gonna go in with that tiny tapered brush that we used earlier, and instead of going into that bright pink because I know that will be a little bit too pigmented, I'm gonna go into the darker pink from the BH Cosmetics palette and do the same thing basically, and just keep it a little bit closer to the lash line. Okay, so the last thing before we go in with the white graphic liner is this Milani Baked Blush in Dulce Pink #1. I found it to be more like a highlighter than it is a blush, just because it has so much like shimmer in it and stuff. You can kind of see. So I'm going to use the same really fluffy brush that I was using earlier, and I'm just going to like go in like a lot. And basically just like tap that on the cheek just for some more pink, and I'm bringing it up on the brow bone, so it's just this whole area is getting pinky and glowy and pretty. Okay, now for the scary part. I'm gonna use this NYX white liquid liner. I'm gonna start by putting a little bit on my hand because that's a lot easier to work with. And this part's gonna be really hard to film because it takes a lot of my like looking at it and making sure that it's right on my eye, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna start by making 3 dots where I want the liner to be. So I'm gonna start with there. Okay, so if you can see those dots, those are where the tops of our little curves are gonna be. And then I'm gonna now make a dot where the bottom of the curve is gonna be. So there and there. And now I'm gonna connect it, and it's gonna be really, really hard to film, so I'm really sorry, but these dots should really help out. So that took a lot longer than expected, but this is what we came out with. Clearly this one's a little bumpier, this one's a little better, but it's messy. So we did our best, and this is what we came up with. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some lashes on, put some lips on, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have to be really quick because my camera is about to run out of storage, but this is the finished look. I'm pretty proud of it, and if you want to see any more photos of it, I have it on my Instagram and Twitter by the time this video will be edited and posted, so go ahead and check those out. My links are down below. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you liked it, and like this video, and give it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys!